Compare Biden's and Trump's stance from U.S. presidential debate 2024. Economy. President Biden has its own name, Bidenomics, and involves building the economy, in his words, from the bottom up. That means investing in infrastructure and manufacturing, clean energy, and expanding job opportunities. Mr. Trump has blamed his successor's big spending for inflation and vowed a return to an agenda of lower taxes and less regulations. Immigration. President Biden's promise of a more humane approach on immigration. But a massive surge in illegal immigration and ensuing public backlash has prompted the Democrat to shift in favor of more restrictive measures. Mr. Trump is promising, if re-elected, to revive first-term policies that will seal the border and to carry out the largest deportation operation in U.S. history. Taxes. President Biden supports raising the corporate income tax rate to 28%, bringing it closer to the 35%. He has also proposed imposing higher tax rates on the wealthiest Americans, cracking down on tax avoidance, and expanding tax credits for low earners and families. Mr. Trump is pledging across-the-board tax cuts. He will maintain the corporate income tax rate at 21% and proposes a universal 10% tariff on all U.S. imports, and a 60% tariff on imports from China. Healthcare. President Biden have taken action to lower prescription drugs costs for older people. He has fought to protect and expand coverage, and lower costs, moves that have pushed enrollment to an all-time high. Mr. Trump has often vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act with something better. Ukraine aid. President Biden has repeatedly urged Congress to continue funding Ukraine, warning that a win for Russia's Vladimir Putin will endanger Europe and embolden another major U.S. adversary, China. Mr. Trump warned in February he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to NATO countries if those allies did not meet their financial obligations to the bloc. Israel/Gaza war. President Biden remains rock solid in his support for Israel, providing billions of dollars worth in weapons and urging more aid to the U.S. ally. Mr. Trump now says the country must finish what they started against Hamas militants in Gaza but get it over with fast. Climate. President Biden invested a historic $300 billion into clean energy and climate initiatives through his Inflation Reduction Act. He has also set ambitious new goals for cutting greenhouse gas and vehicle emissions, and spurred a boom in the green energy economy. Mr. Trump has again taken up the vow to drill, baby, drill, and unleash domestic energy production, in part to bring prices at the pump down. Crime. President Biden credits investment in public safety for the significant decline in violent crime after major spikes during the first 2 years of the pandemic. Mr. Trump has often highlighted violent incidents involving migrants or singled out public safety concerns in Democratic-led cities to paint a picture of surging, out-of-control crime levels under his rival. Gun laws. President Biden banned the manufacture and sale of ghost guns. He has repeatedly urged Congress to pass a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Mr. Trump took action to ban bump stocks, the accessories that allow semi-automatic weapons to fire more quickly. Abortion. Is promising to restore the rights afforded by Roe as the law of the land. Mr. Trump calls himself proudly the person responsible for ending Roe. After a muddled few months, he finally set out his position as supporting states' rights to determine their own laws.